just this feeling of sitting right on the dashboard and having this panoramic view. It feels like I'm in an IMAX theater, certainly with scenery like this. Hey crew, I've got the key to that 23 Mercedes-Benz G550. We are going to take it for a drive, but first, let's check it out. It looks on the inside and outside. Now, this is not your average G550, if that's even a thing, because it's wearing the $25,000 G Professional package, which encompasses things like blacking out of this brush guard, of the grille insert, and Mercedes-Benz TriStar. You get a dark tint for these top-mounted turn signals. And this example is painted in the also expensive Arabian Grey. It's a flat cement color that I think looks fantastic with these black accents. At the side are smaller 18-inch wheels in matte black, wrapped in Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain tires, size 265 section front and rear. With the G Pro pack, the standard running boards have been deleted, the door mirror caps are in gloss black, and there's this very safari-style roof rack with a platform you could stand on. In my opinion, the classic squared-off, large-windowed Gildewagen silhouette is only enhanced by the G Pro pack, which also includes, here at the back, a tubed steel tire carry guard. And this sleek ladder with a weight rating of 220 pounds. Especially with the G Pro pack, this G550 is just the embodiment of the word cool, and visually brings the G-Wagon back to its utilitarian roots. My question for you is, which looks more awesome, this G550 or the G63? Let me know in the comments, and let's check out the interior. Opening up with one of the most iconic sounds in the automotive world, pressing that G button and listening to this heavy-duty metal latch open and close is just signature G. The only issue with that is that it is quite loud, and unless you actually close the door like you're angry with it, it won't go. You gotta just slam it shut. Opening up and looking inside at this exclusive G manufaktur interior with Nappa Leather seating surfaces that have quilting on the centers with perforation and rear seat heating. On the doors, there are two tones of that leather all the way down with open pore wood trim and a Burmester surround sound system. Your window controls are up here, and the windows are one touch, but they don't go all the way down. To get inside with the running board delete, there is no grab handle, so you're just kind of putting your foot up high and then grabbing onto the back of the seat, while kind of ducking your head if you're taller, because the seats are high and you could whack your head on that roof line. Behind my own seat at 6 feet, I've got some knee room. The seat back's injection molded. There is a nice large map pocket. The foot pockets are mega, so thigh support is stellar. And headroom with that squared off exterior is predictably amazing. So many inches above my head of clearance. That gets the thumbs up for me. And in the middle are air vents, a third zone of climate, and down here, an ashtray with a DC outlet and a hidden USB-A port. Hopping out, let's go take a peek at the trunk by pulling this big heavy tailgate and revealing 39 cubic feet of space behind that second row of seats. Check out this gorgeous cherry wood platform with the G Professional package, and up here is a DC outlet. If you need more room, you can fold up the seat bottoms and then lower the seat backs for 68 cubic feet. There are more detailed delights like the quilting on this tailgate, and the easiest way to close that is with the tire carry. Give it a good firm push, and that'll do. The front seats are optionally the Multicontour chairs with heating, ventilation, and massage. You get 3 positions of memory for those, and these are the seat controls here on the door. Up top are your window controls with power adjusting and power folding door mirrors. There's also a sunroof that is partially obscured by that rack system, and there's a suede wrapped headliner. To get up into the front seats, once again, I'm missing a grab handle, so I just use the steering wheel to hike up and in. That wheel is leather wrapped and feels great in the hands. It's got some physical and some touch controls on it for the reconfigurable digital gauge cluster. Alongside that is a 12.3-inch infotainment system, but it is not a touchscreen because it's still running the old command software that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but they're not wireless. Around the screen is wood and leather on the dashboard. There's a wood and leather grab handle for the passenger. Here are your 3 locking differential controls, physical inputs for climate and media, an analog clock. Slide forward on this wood panel to find 2 cup holders, a key slot, and a DC outlet. There's some drive settings alongside media settings here. Under the leather top console is a deep bit of storage with 2 USB-A ports. Visibility is just refreshing in this modern era of giant blind spots. Even with the headrests up, you can still see easily with the naked eye thanks to those large windows and their standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic. There's so much to love about this cabin with the feeling of space and the quality of the materials. I'm just looking for a tech upgrade at this point. Now let's take the G550 for a drive. All right, let's fire it up. What a rumbling, rocking good time, shaking the body on startup with that V8. Hello, cabin crew. Thank you for joining me for this drive in the 23 Mercedes-Benz G550. We'll start by selecting our drive mode here, and you can see we've got an individual mode, which is customizable, a sport mode, comfort, eco, and desert. Desert sounds fun, but we're not going to play around with that today, nor will we play with the low-range set of gears, because I'm saving that for a day-in-the-life video that I will have airing just a couple days after this one goes live. So wait for that. To go into reverse, I'm going to lift up on the stock, and that brings up a high-resolution camera system with trajectory lines. Keep wanting to touch the screen, but I cannot. I need to use this dial to select some of the other views, including a wide-angle view. Love this one for seeing around cars parked next to you. And then you've got a parking assistance view. We'll go into the wide-angle view, and I'm going to back on out of here. Now, down into drive, and away we go. Let's kick things off with the world-famous horn test. Ooh, sharp. It sounds startled, that horn. And what about the turn signal sound? I like that. Pleasantly light tapping. The powertrain. Nothing light about that. 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8, making 416 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque. That is routed through a 9-speed automatic gearbox and sent to a permanent 4-wheel drive system with, as I said, a low-range set of gears. Now, what's interesting about this motor is that it is shared with the Mercedes-AMG G63, but in that application, it makes 577 horsepower and over 600 pound-feet of torque. Quick bit of history on the G-Class, more commonly known as the G-Wagon, which pulls its name from the German word Geländewagen, which translates as SUV. So right now I'm driving the Mercedes-Benz SUV, which started life as a military-grade off-roader before it was introduced to civilians in 1979. So 44 years later, this is Mercedes-Benz's second longest-running nameplate after the Unimog. And it hasn't changed a whole lot in that time. It's still a very rugged ladder frame chassis. It's got 3 locking differentials, a low-range set of gears. It can certainly hack it off-road, which is what I look forward to exploring in my What It's Like to Live With video. But here right now on-road, 2 things stand out to me as just aspects of it that I love. One is the naked eye visibility. Just this feeling of sitting right on the dashboard and having this panoramic view. It feels like I'm in an IMAX theater, certainly with scenery like this. Periphery to periphery view of everything you want to see and just a commanding seating position. You have so much authority behind the wheel of the Geländewagen. And these seats are supremely comfortable, highly adjustable, these multi-contour chairs with heating and ventilation and massage. I love driving and I love seeing my turn signals. When's the last time you were driving a vehicle where you not only saw the turn signal here on the gauge, but you actually saw the light out in front of you? And I'm just going to leave it on because we are going to take a turn here and in fact show off the turning radius of the G-Wagon. It's very easy to modulate those brakes as well. Okay, here we go, cranking the wheel. and appreciating a respectable turning circle. No rear wheel steering or anything like that, but a nice small wheelbase, and so a maneuverable SUV. And then that V8 gracefully bringing me up to speed here. We do have the optional adaptive dampers equipped to this version of the G550. And the ride is just sublime. Those all-terrain tires giving us the extra bit of sidewall there on the 18-inch wheels are certainly helping, but the dampeners suppressing those road blemishes and keeping me at ease behind the wheel. What a wonderful cruiser. I would want to take trips in this all the time. Now we have to see if the G550 is quick to 60 with a real-world test. That's up next. And here's the part where I realized I forgot my race box. So unfortunately, I can't get us an exact 0 to 60 time, and there's no internal recording in the G550, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to do the 0 to 60. So let's go into the sport drive mode, and then I'm going to hit the traction off button. I will brake boost it off the line and let it rip. Here we go. Torque! Yeah, and there's 60 in what I want to say is about 5 seconds, which would match up with what independent tests are seeing from the G550. And those all-terrain tires don't seem to be any sort of issue with getting that power to the ground here on the road. This is a mighty thing. I think I'd like another crack at that in manual mode. So utilizing these plasticky paddles on the back of the wheel. Shifts are decently quick. Ooh, I like the overrun. Oh, it upshifted. Didn't like that. I want to do it myself, thank you. Let's try again. All right, now why the upshift again? I'm in sports, I'm in manual mode. Let me do my thing. I love this noise. And the mid-range thrust, not the upshifts. This is clearly not a G63. And that V8 rumble is extra immersive in this truck because the exhausts are exiting right beneath the cabin. So you feel the acceleration, you feel the force even more. And though this is clearly not the spec or even model for it, we're going to try out the handling in the G550 and the braking by carrying some speed into this curve, going full ABS, and then to the best of our ability chucking it in. I do have traction control switched off, but stability control does not switch off in the G550. So here's full ABS braking. Nice response. Not a lot of wiggle in the body either. Understeer is happening, but it's being overwhelmed by the fact that power is being cut the moment the system senses slip in the tires. Oh, and so much lean in the body. There's just that clear delineation between the street speed G63 and the cruiser slash off-roader G550. Both of them have mountains of power. Both of them sound great, but they're delivering different driving experiences. So let's put traction back on. Take it into the comfort drive mode, and since we are on the highway here, I'm going to quiet up and we're going to listen for the NVH level. Which is pretty high. Because of the G Professional package and that roof rack that's just getting pelted by wind, it's making all that noise, which overwhelms just about every other sound you'd have inside this cabin, even potentially conversations with your passengers. But certainly things like tire hum or V8 rumble or the noise of vehicles passing by you, you just get wind noise, which you could spin as a good thing. It's like a single sound, a white noise, if you will. And I do know that without that roof rack, for example in the G63, it's a very well insulated cabin, which is impressive because it's just a giant box hurtling through the air. And if the wind noise doesn't bother you, then the G550 is an amenable cruiser on the highway with excellent ride compliance and things like adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist. It's not steering assistance, so unlike other modern Mercedes-Benz vehicles, which will have the steering wheel turn along the trajectory of your lane, this won't do that. It won't change the lanes for you or anything like that. So you're having to work a little bit harder on your road trip, just like you're having to raise your voice a little more to talk with your fellow riders. Now I think it's time for my miles per hour word of the day, which for the 23 Mercedes-Benz G550 is vaunted, meaning boasted about or praised. The G-Wagon is a vaunted vehicle. It's a vaunted nameplate because of, yes, the celebrities that drive them, but more importantly, because aesthetically, it's so incongruous with traffic. It stands out from the sea of other cars and trucks out there. And then as a driving experience, nothing gives you this vantage point, this level of naked eye visibility. It's something that you'd either have to love or hate. And I most certainly love it. And indeed, you have to love it if you're going to spend at least $141,000 on the G550. But before we get deeper into pricing and competition, let's go over the top speed and fuel economy. Top speed for the G550 is 132 miles per hour, though I don't know if that's with the G Professional Package's roof rack. And the fuel economy is 13 mpg in the city, 16 on the highway, and as I said, 14 combined. And I already said the starting price, but this one as tested is $189,000 with this $25,000 G Professional package and this expensive paint job and this exclusive interior, which is only $9,000 more expensive than the G63 starting price. And I know that's the more popular model, but I would choose the G550 because it's got plenty of power and it gives you the aesthetic, it gives you the commanding seating position. And while the G63 is certainly more capable in a straight line and through a curve, it's already a shape that doesn't really belong at the track. So why force the issue, in my opinion? Now, the competitive discussion is like opening a can of worms. There's so many different vehicles that could be cross-shopped against a G-Wagon that it's hard to keep up. I'll just kind of outline some of them. We've got the Land Rover Range Rover Autobiography, you've got the Lamborghini Urus, the Aston Martin DBX, the Ford Bronco Raptor, the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392, and the Land Rover Defender 110 V8. I won't bore you with the details of all of those vehicles. I'll just pick two that I think butt up most closely against the G550. The Range Rover Autobiography starts at $153,000. It makes 523 horsepower, gets to 60 in 5.5 seconds, and has fuel economy of 18 combined. And then another Land Rover, the Defender 110 V8, starts at $113,000, makes 518 horsepower, gets to 60 in 4.5 seconds, and has fuel economy of 16 combined. Both of those Rovers are excellent vehicles, serving up different experiences. The Range Rover is going to be more comfortable, more luxurious than the G-Wagon, while the Defender 110, with its raising air suspension and all the different electronically assisted off-road goodies, is probably going to be more capable than a G-Wagon. But I'll tell you why I would choose the G550, and it just comes down to one simple word: cool. This is the embodiment of, nice E30 up there. This is the embodiment of cool for me. You get out and you walk into your driveway and you see a shape like this, and you feel and hear those massive metal latches, and you have this vista of a driving posture, and you hear, when not overwhelmed by wind noise, that monstrous V8, and you just feel like there isn't a more special truck that you can buy. And that's why it would take the vote for me. It's not better necessarily, it's just very different, and I gravitate towards different. But which would you guys choose from the entire roster of options I shared with you? Range Rover, DBX, Urus, Bronco Raptor, Wrangler 392, Defender 110 V8, or this Mercedes-Benz G550? Which would you pick? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share it. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out my What It's Like to Live With Day in the Life video that is coming out soon that will take the G550 off-road. I'll see you again next time.